My name's John Cameron. I was a welfare officer in the village from 1989 to 2001. It kept me going. I looked after some 1,200 residents and organised picnics and outings and plenty of pensions. Did a lot of pension work and always plenty to do. This is a place where they knew they'd be looked after and treated well.
My name is Patty Page and I was working in the village for 30 years. Loved every moment. I love the people, yes. And I think the veterans community, it's hard to explain, but I think the way they stick together and the way they feel about each other is very special. And even today, it hasn't changed. They care about one another and make sure that they're being looked after properly, which they are here. It's a great place, a really great place.
This is the Hill, Narrabeen Plateau near Sydney, looking down on the restless beauty of the Pacific on one side and on placid lakes on the other. The haven on the hill in these lovely surroundings stands as an everlasting memorial to service and sacrifice. A thanks offering to those who risked their all in the service of their country. The Narrabeen War Veterans Home. The late Stephen Stack was a moving spirit in the original organisation of the home and its administration for many years.
My grandfather, Stephen Stack, whose portrait is up there, was the co-founder of the War Vets. Having heard about the War Vets all my life, I think early on it was just a place where people lived. I don't think I really understood too much about it. In 2016, I went to the centenary of Pozieres. It was clear to me then that it was his concern for his fellow veterans and that he needed to do something for them. It would have been his concern to just have somewhere for them to live out their lives in peace and surrounded by people who understood. And that's one thing I've learned is that veterans understand veterans, and it's possibly an area that we in the wider community just don't understand.
It was a place where they're all, they're all ex-service and it was important to them to be in their own sort of community, and they got looked after. I've always had a respect for the ex-service people, and to be able to look after them and give my support, that meant the world to me.
The most important part of my position was care. I took it seriously, I'd start at breakfast, I'd visit every table at breakfast time, being with the people. It was just something special about them. The whole place had that caring feel about it, because all the staff, you couldn't work here unless you really cared for people.
From the cooks to the drivers to everyone that was here, they just gave everything, and there's something that'll always stick with me. They always showed respect for the diggers, and something that I believe in. They were all part of my family, and the World War Iers, they were probably my favourites. They were like grandfathers to me.
The World War Iers, they had such a spirit, and they didn't ever complained. I'm just so glad that there are places like this where veterans can live in security, knowing that no matter what, they will be looked after. Veterans need to look after each other. Even though they go on and lead very successful lives, there's still a part of them that goes back to that period in their life which just must have been so intense. Today, I think that will continue, and today's veterans obviously need our support as well. I think my grandfather was such a humble man, and I can only see this through my father and my aunt, and I think that's just something that is so important, and I'm just so very proud that my grandfather did something like this. I have met so many widows and children,
and to see them progress over 10 years and thrive with the help of others. I am very much driven by spending the rest of my life helping others.
Yeah, I always respect the veterans for what they did, and wherever they are, and it's something that it's always in my heart. I love them.
I think the philosophy of the place was no digger will ever be without a home. They'll never give up. They'll always find a home for them. Now that the village is turning 80 this year, I hope it will go on for many, many more years. If a veteran needs something, the village will always be here for them.